This is Python's Paradise. This is your host, Greg Gilbert, aka the Python Hyena. And folks, wasn't too very long ago, I had a guest on my show that did some really strange movies for Uwe Boll. Not that Uwe Boll's ever done a movie that wasn't strange, but folks, I'm so happy to bring her back because she got another project coming up with Adam Marcus and the Skeleton Crew, which I'm looking forward to talking to her about. Folks, I give you the star of Blubberella and a star featured in Postal, my favorite Uwe Boll movie, Lindsay Hollister. How do you do, Lindsay?
Doing great. Thank you for that. Thank you for that introduction. I like the girl who has done strange Uwe Boll movies. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going on my grave. Just put that there. Like, here lies the girl who did strange Uwe Boll movies.
You know what? I've interviewed Uwe Boll twice, and I'll probably have him on here again. I actually called him during the pandemic to see how he was doing, because
Yeah,
he lives in Vancouver, and
he has a restaurant.
actually, I think it got closed down due to the pandemic. So,
Yeah, I figured.
yeah,
Did you talk to him?
yeah, he seemed to be in decent spirits when I talked to him, and yeah, I really like this movie.
I think that's like the only one that kind of made sense.
Yeah. Well, I haven't seen a lot of his movies. I saw this and I saw Blubberella because I'm more of a a satire comedic fan. Like I don't think these hardcore video game movies are really for me.
Yeah.
So I didn't see Blood Rain or
What about the one he did with Brendan Fletcher?
which one he did few
I
of them.
know, I know that. Well, the one that was actually like half decent. It wasn't based on the Blood Rain movies. I mean, it was a Rampage. I think
Oh,
Rampage.
Rampage.
Yeah,
No, I haven't seen that either.
it's not satire. It's pretty serious, but I mean, I think if anybody can carry a movie, it's Fletcher.
Mm-hmm.
Fletcher
Well,
Math.
I think Zach Ward does a great job in this. He plays a straight man.
I was thinking like of Uva's like actor,
Mm-hmm.
his like corral of actors. I don't think he ever worked with Zach again. I think that was the only movie they did.
Well, I've interviewed Zach Ward twice from this. I've had you on twice. I've had Uwe Boll on twice. I had Michael Beignet on in 2019, and I had Jackie Tone on. So there's 5 of you have had on from this movie. Not bad.
Not too bad, not too shabby.
Yeah. I enjoyed the humor in this. Some people say it's offensive. I could see their point, but at the same token, I'm like, I kind of get where this movie is coming from. So
Yeah.
I think Uwe Boll knocked it out of the park with this one. So
I don't know. I can't remember what we talked about last time, but try being in a screening of that with Uva and watching that opening scene. And because a lot, as actors, you don't always get the whole script, which everybody should have that in their writer if they're going to work with Uva. Like, we want the entire script, the locked script, and we want to know what's happening in this movie. Because I just remember I was like, people are gonna walk out. Like I was horrified. Like I don't know. I think like anything 9/11 for America is just always gonna be too. It's like there's never a time, it's like the Holocaust. Like like there's just things you don't mess with, and then Uva has messed with both of those things. So
I'm going to say this though, the 9/11 thing, yes, that's a very touchy subject. But I'm going to say one thing: when you got the two terrorists in the plane, going back and forth on the phone about we'll get how many virgins when we die, and it went from 100 to what 70 or something like this, and finally they're like, you know what, screw this, let's go to the Bahamas. It just talks about how stupid the these promises these people are getting after death, that there's no control for them over, promising this many virgins or that many virgins, and
Yeah,
stuff.
but if you
Yep.
think about it, like what to me is the most fascinating thing is what part of the human brain allows people to believe that stuff. Like that's what's fascinating. Like not the person who's selling the, what I mean, because nobody, obviously we know a normal rational person knows that no one has any clue what's going to happen after we die. But so like that's the person selling the lie or whatever is not interesting to me, or the lie itself. It's that what part of our like chemical makeup allows us to really believe that stuff enough to give your life for it is pretty, that's pretty intense, so I do see what he was going for with that. I just don't think he'll ever be able to pull that stuff off,
No.
because he's Uva, that's
Yeah.
like Steven Spielberg probably could have done a very sardonical conversation
He
between.
he kind of did with 1941.
I did not see that.
Yeah, that was
That's Stephen King.
no, Steven Spielberg.
No, I know, but what was 1941? I thought that was a Stephen King novel.
No, it was a Spielberg comedy. It was a flop right after he did Jaws and Close Encounters of the Third Kind. 1941 had a whole lot of comedians, and it was set during, I think it was the Second World War.
Oh, I don't.
And
Yeah, I have
yeah,
no
it
idea.
had John Belushi in it, and Dan Aykroyd, and Slim Pickens, and a bunch of people.
It didn't do well, huh?
No, he had to do Raiders of the Lost Ark to make up, but I kind of liked 1941 because Spielberg parodies his own Jaws at the beginning of it
Oh,
with the
really?
same actress, the actress that goes out and gets attacked by the shark. He has her do the same scene, only instead of a shark, it's a submarine, Japanese submarine coming up, and she's like strapped naked on there, and they like open the top up and they're trying to look around. They don't see this naked woman just clutching up on the top of that.
I didn't know that. I think he
Yeah.
has, yeah, a great sense of humor. We were just watching Raiders of the no, Last Crusade. The
Mm-hmm.
Last Crusade. So there's a lot of crazy humor, bad, and a lot of bad green screen.
Mm-hmm. I like Raiders of the Lost Ark best for those, but no,
Yeah.
check out 1941. Yeah, he's making fun of the whole Pearl Harbor thing. And it's got like a runaway Ferris wheel in it. It's got Ned Beatty, who we sadly lost yesterday.
Yes.
Well, he's in it, defending his household. He wrecks his entire house because he's got his own cannon in his house.
I really have never heard somebody laugh this hard over a movie I've never heard of.
I think 1941 is underrated. I really get the satire of it. Slim Pickens, like they capture him because and they're trying to find out where Hollywood is because they think that's where they're supposed to attack. Hollywood.
Oh,
But they find Slim Pickens, and I guess his name is Hollis Wood. He's like Christmas tree, so they capture Slim Pickens. Slim Pickens, of course, was the guy who rode the bomb down to the earth in Doctor Strangelove,
yeah.
So that's who they capture as him. Yeah, it's a pretty decent movie. I'm trying to think of that right there handy, because if it is, I would haul that up. No, it's not. But yeah, look it up. It's 1941, just the digit, and it's got John Belushi playing a fighter pilot in it. It's got a bunch of people in it. So yeah, it's quite a spectacle. It's not Spielberg's greatest film, but I don't think it's terrible either. I think he was trying to do Doctor Strangelove or It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. Maybe he didn't quite succeed at that, but I think a lot of the humor works. They have these Japanese attackers are disguised as Christmas trees because they want to abduct Slim Pickens. And Slim Pickens is out there with his axe. He takes a swing and the thing jumps up in the air and he just goes around in circles and he thinks he missed it. That's what it is. So I liked it.
Well,
So
everyone go watch 1941.
1941, yep. So Postal in some ways kind of puts me in mind of that. So personally, I found the movie Pearl Harbor offensive
Oh
because they tried to sell that to Japan as a love story.
yeah.
And there was not one three-dimensional Japanese character in that. It was just two soldiers fighting over a nurse. That was a movie I found offensive.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's
That movie was trash.
Yeah, it was pretty trashy.
Yeah.
I don't like those kind of movies, but I don't even. I was trying to think about even what. Yeah, what was that? Ben Affleck,
Mm-hmm.
Kate Beckinsale. Yeah, it was just an excuse to have like I don't know. That's what the movies that they were making though during that time. Like Armageddon and all. It's like these like catastrophic events, but it's a love story. Like, oh, gross. Just make a
Yeah.
catastrophic event movie. It doesn't have to have like this. I don't know. Everything is about love, though. At the end of the day, every movie ever written is about love. Apparently, that's what they say.
Like this one.
Yeah, definitely. Postal is about love. Yeah.
I'll tell you this though. When I was in Toronto last, I went to my first IMAX screening, and I saw a film that Pearl Harbor doesn't even touch. My first IMAX was Apocalypse Now. That was great to see on IMAX.
I can't even like because of the story behind that. I don't. I was just ugh.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
I love Apocalypse Now.
yeah. I don't know. That's just tragic though. What happened on it? You know. That's where the helicopter came down and killed everybody,
No,
right?
no, that was Twilight Zone, the movie.
Oh, yeah, you're
You're
right.
thinking of the Vic Morrow thing. Apocalypse Now had its issues, like Martin Sheen suffered a heart attack apparently during shooting, but he got through the film. He got done.
Oh no, yeah. It's
You
hard to
know,
watch. It is a
yeah.
hard to watch
But
movie.
Apocalypse Now is a masterpiece. But yeah, you're thinking of Twilight Zone, the
I don't
movie.
know why my brain went to Twilight Zone. I think it was that was something recent. I was like, we were watching some behind the scenes thing about that.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that was awful. That
Mm-hmm.
was terrible. But anyways, you were watching Apocalypse Now at in a Toronto IMAX?
Mm-hmm. I go there. I've been going there since 2017 to a horror film convention. One of my guests invited me to a sister at one of the events, and it was my first time traveling. And it was like, here in Fredericton, New Brunswick, it's like, we're just a small city. This was my first time in a plane. It actually didn't bother me. But when I landed in Toronto, I was like looking up at those tall buildings as like I'm not in Kansas anymore, you know? But the convention was a lot of fun. And I've been going back ever since, except last year, because something had to screw everybody's plans up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
We're
I'm
all
pretty. Yeah.
experiencing, yeah, the same thing. Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, but I'm glad to get this up and going again. Just a question: are you still doing job interviews?
There's some people, yeah, those like I can't. Well, I don't even know where I saw last. It's like it's a little cult thing where I'll get sometimes a comment like, what's the difference between a duck? People will know like that. But we've talked again. I don't remember our first interview what I talked about, but I was supposed to play bitch. Remember that?
I don't.
So that's what they originally wanted me for was the wife in Postal. I think
Oh,
her
okay.
name her name is bitch. I'm pretty and like my managers didn't like respond to it or something like that. I can't remember. And then somehow somebody got a hold, or like my agent didn't respond to it. Probably didn't think it was like a real thing. And then somehow they got a hold of somebody, like one cat, I can't remember, got a hold of my manager and they were like, hey, like this German director wanted you for this role, but they had moved on because we had my people, so stupid, but had not responded. And I think like, so then my manager called and just wanted to be like, hey, like, Lindsay's really, sorry, like she didn't know about it. We obviously would have like responded, and they were nice enough to say, well, would she be considered taking a smaller part? And that's how they gave me the part of the recorder. And
Okay.
of course, like once I like saw what the part of was for bitch, I was like, whew, dodged a bullet, because I would not have wanted to play that.
Probably not. No. But I'll tell you that job interview scene was pretty funny. You didn't even give Zach Ward a good chair to sit in.
I think it was one of the better scenes. Yeah, I thought it was fun. But yeah,
Yeah.
like yeah, they flew me up. I mean, I love obviously going to Vancouver or the
Hmm.
Couve, and I've shot there a few times. And yeah, they flew me up, and every actor always, everybody stays in the same hotel, and yeah, I think we literally shot that in like a day, and yeah, and then I came home. It was I think I, you know, ate some good food, and it's really pretty, and I love it. I love filming in Vancouver. I wouldn't mind, having a job up there and like moving up, like a TV show or
Hmm.
whatever would be fun. But yeah, so that's how the relationship with Uva began, was on that. And because he told me briefly when I met him, because everything's so unconventional with Uva. It's like he's like not really film, he's not really a director. He like brings people together and he gets funding and stuff, but you just kind of go and do whatever you want, you know. And so he and his producer at the time of the film said that they had watched me on My Name is Earl. That's how they found me. So that's why we always say in Hollywood, work begets work. If you're working, you'll work more, because people see you and stuff like that. So I always thought that was really interesting. And then of course it was at the premiere of Postal that I was trying to say goodbye to him and get the heck out of Dodge. And after everybody watched this horribly offensive movie, and then that's when, in front of a group of people, he mentioned Blubberella, like at that premiere. So everything is, yeah, it was kind of strange. And then but it wasn't until like 3 years later or something like that that he came calling during the recession. Yeah, so it was a good time. like no one was working, you know, and it's like, oh, here, you can star in your own movie. Yeah, it's gonna be stupid and horribly offensive and not even have a script. I didn't know that at the time. But we're gonna pay you a ton of money and you're gonna work when no one is working. I'm like, who's gonna say no to that? You know,
No. No.
like no one has that much pride.
Don't you think that Blubberella should be one of the Avengers?
Oh, yeah, I think it would have been such a funny movie if it had been done correctly. Like,
Do you think Blubberella could kick Black Widow's ass?
I absolutely, I love that. I want to do I love, first of all, I love Marvel
Mm,
movies and I love the Avengers and I've watched all of those movies more times than I can count. And I'm not a repeat movie watcher. But I want to, once in my career, I wish I had done that thing where she like leaps like up, like drop kicks somebody and then leaps up and puts her leg, you know, swings her legs around their neck and does that. I think that's a cool move. I think Blubberella should have done that. But yeah, I mean, that's just forever going to be a missed opportunity because it really, really been fun. It really is a funny idea, you know. It's like
mm-hmm.
it would have been really funny had it, you know, we had had any chance to do it, so you know, make it like a real movie.
Mm-hmm.
So uh but we didn't, and that's why you get that steamy pile of poop that is Blubberella.
Well, we got to talk about Fat Camp Massacre because Adam Marcus mentioned this. Number one, I
How do you know
love,
Adam?
huh?
How do you know Adam?
Adam, of course, was the director of Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. I
Yes.
had him on my show twice now. Once talk about Jason Goes to Hell. The second time I had him and Deborah Sullivan on to talk about Secret Santa, which I
Oh,
absolutely love Secret Santa. I've interviewed 5 people from that film. I've really promoted that.
mhm.
And he had mentioned in the interview he's coming up with something very similar called Fat Camp Massacre. And he mentioned that you were going to be part of this. And I was like, yes, bring in Lindsay Hollister. She's awesome. And he just sang your praises, you know?
Wait, back up. Did you say bring in Lindsay Hollister?
No, he mentioned that you were go be part of this.
It's my movie. It's my movie.
Okay.
Yeah, it's my movie. So I brought in Adam
Oh,
Marcus.
you brought in Adam. I don't know. I did the interview. I think I listened to it once, you know, so
Well,
but
I didn't, my producers did. So I mean, I obviously met with Adam and Deborah and loved them. And I mean, I don't even want to say I brought him in or we brought it. We are lucky enough to have, you know, Adam and the caliber of people that Adam and Deborah are. We're gonna, but Fat Camp is my movie. It's my brainchild, and I've been trying to get this movie made for 10 years.
well, sounds awesome. And I think Adam Marcus is the right one. Did you see Secret Santa?
Oh, it's fucking great. We
I,
got, sorry, can I cuss on this show?
go ahead. Go ahead.
uh we were so we've been working on Fat Camp Massacre for like 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So when they did a screening of Secret Santa that I got to go to, and I can't remember laughing harder through a horror movie than that. I mean, we had such a good time. Like it was, I mean, everyone, like it was such a great screening because, you know, we were like the crowd, we were just so into it, you know, like, and I mean, what this, oh, it was great. Yeah, no, it's a great, and I'm glad it's done. It seems like it's done well. It needs to be like one of those culty, you know,
Yes.
horror films that like I hope the horror community continues to discover because it's really smart and it's really, you know, it's really funny. And has some great, gore. And of course, I'm sure Adam and Deborah talked about how they shot this on such, on the budget that they did, and like, with their group of actors that they work with. It really, really is a great, testament to independent filmmaking too, like, and that's what I was really impressed with, because, ultimately that's, what I want to do and what I've been trying to do. And for some reason, I don't know what it is. I just keep hitting roadblock after roadblock, and I can't get this movie made. And I don't know why, because people respond to it. Like, they respond to, first of all, they just love the name. It was originally titled Fat Camp, and then it became Fat Camp Massacre, but it is now, to be honest, it's untitled.
Call it Fat Camp Massacre. I got to admit, that has a nice ring to it.
I know, but we can't get actors attached to it with that name, because, the reps and everything, they don't want their.
Boy, these people really need to stop. It's like, people getting angry when it's like people getting angry when Bad Santa come out because people took their kids to see it. It was an R-rated Christmas comedy. It was hilarious, but still, know before you go.
We don't have enough time, but I would love to do an entire segment on how everybody is offended by everything. Like, and I'm not that person that, thinks we should be able to say the N-word or anything horrible like that. No, there are social norms, and there are things that you have no right to be saying, but we have gone so far, like, to this PC world, like, where you can't say or do anything. And I think that's like, I think it's horrible, because there's people are getting canceled, and there's people, it's like, you can't have an opinion on anything, and you have to be so vanilla and so PC. It's just like, ugh, it's so gross to me. And because, what I mean, obviously I'm the girl that's done 2 Uwe Boll movies, so I don't have a problem with a lot, but through the exploration of like stuff, do I think that you learn to be a more understanding and caring person than just totally avoiding anything. Like, that's what I don't understand,
And these idiots trying to rewrite history, and like taking movies like Gone with the Wind and, oh, we got an issue with this or issue with that. I like to handle these people the way Uwe Boll handles his critics. Tell them to step into the ring.
Yeah, it's like, I don't, we can't, I don't get it. Like, it's just like, we spend so much time just being offended, and, I don't know.
Those people are idiots.
There's a lot of people, though. It's a lot. Yep. It's like an entire societal thing and it's like, and it's doing us no good. So I don't know what it's going to be called, to be honest with you. What
I would do if I was you, I would sit down with Adam and Deborah and see if you could wrangle up a new title if you need.
Oh no, we've tried. Yeah. And then every time you bring, well, first of all, we're looking for a director. So I'm sure we'll get we're going to get a title when we get a director, but the problem is that, like, every time you bring like a new person in, like, they have their ideas of like what it should be called, so it really, honestly, like, at this point, like, I'm not even worried about that. I just want to get the movie made, because even though it is a different incarnation than my original script that I rewrote like 20, 30 times, at the core of it is what I set it out to be, which is a movie about bullying and body and self-acceptance, because that has been something, regardless. I just went on a rant about how I hate everybody being too PC, because my entire life I've dealt with being called every name in the book and being bullied. And I, like I said, I think there's ways for us to have conversation and to be better to each other without like having to, like I said, mince words all the time. And that's what this movie is about. And I love horror movies, obviously. Like I have always wanted to do a horror film. I just like writing one, it's been the most fun, part. And no one's done anything like this. And I'm in the, like I have this movie and I've had it and I'm going to fucking make it. Like I don't know what I have to do to make it happen, but it will get made eventually. But again, it's like when the pandemic hit, because we were getting close, and then I was like, geez Louise, like I can't catch a break, because I wrote it during the recession and the writer's strike time, when work had really come to a halt in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
And I really wanted to find a way to stay creative and feel like I was, I mean, when you're a creative person, you have to have an outlet somehow. And when you're an actor, all you do is spend your entire life waiting for someone to give you permission to do what you love. It sucks. And I don't want to hear anyone be like, you can go out and do it. Yeah, I have done my own things, but like it doesn't pay me. And it's like, like it's so expensive to shoot your own stuff. Like you have to be well funded and you have to have money if you want to do, and so this has been a labor of love. But I know that Adam and Deborah love it. Like, and they're a part of it. They're a huge part of it, and they've brought some, they were able to, because they're professionals and they've done this for a really long time and they've been successful at it for a really long time. I mean, they've sold scripts to every studio. He was the youngest director of a horror franchise at 23. So obviously they know what they're doing. So they've been able to, bring bring a life to this story and to this idea, but keeping true to what I wanted it to be. Like they didn't take that away from me. And I'm so grateful. And I'm forever grateful that, well, first of all, obviously, like we wouldn't have wanted to work with them if they didn't get it, but you never know when you start working with people, because people can say like, oh, we want it to be about this. We love it. And then you get in and they're like, writing stuff that's completely opposite of what you want. And that didn't happen. So, so what do you want to know about it? What did Adam tell you?
Adam told me how wonderful you are, and I had said that I had interviewed you and I could confirm that you are awesome. And yeah. No, actually, Adam sent me let me see. Let me look here on Facebook here on my phone here, because Adam had let me see. Let me see. Where Adam Marcus responded to something. Okay. He put a post on here. And I'm having Lindsay Hollister on my show today for the second time. Looking forward to chatting about this project. And he was talking about Fat Camp Massacre. He says, Manic Monday's back to hanging with our third Fat Camp Massacre partner, the remarkable Sarah Cheney.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That's my girl.
Okay. I am so blessed to be associated with this brilliant team of female creatives. proving once again gender has nothing to do with being able to scare the bejesus out of you. Damn Skippy, this is what Skeleton Crew was all about. And so I put that comment, and Adam Marcus put, she's the best, Greg.
Well, that is really important though, too, because you know, obviously, like I said, the love for Adam and Deb is real, and they're great people. But we can't forget that this, you know, they came into all of this through the efforts of Heather and Sarah. So Sarah Cheney and I went to college together at Miami University of Oxford, Ohio. Love and honor. If there's any MU people listening. And so Sarah, her producing partner, Heather Olt, who is a phenomenal actress in her own. If you ever want, if you would know who she is if you ever watched like Justified, and so she's just been in everything. Heather is an incredible actress. So they wanted to start producing, and Sarah had said, you know, you have something that you've talked about or whatever. And so the three of us set out to make this movie, and then Heather and Sarah met up with Adam and Deborah and brought them to the project. I met with, you know, Adam and Deborah, of course, and then we all decided they were the right people. But Heather and Sarah have tirelessly worked on this film to get this movie made. Because I always had said from the beginning, I didn't want to produce it. I wanted to write it. I want to have a small part in it. And I want to, you know, of course, be on set. I mean, I'll have, you know, like an associate producer kind of thing, but I didn't want to be like, you know, the head producer on the thing. So Heather and Sarah have worked so hard, like unbelievably. And so they've really like become little powerhouse independent producers themselves, and it's a big learning curve, you know, to produce.
Mm-hmm.
So they're amazing, and hopefully, you know, with the joint efforts of Adam, Deb, Sarah, and Heather and myself, that's why Adam, you know, is like girl power, because he's surrounded by women on this project. He's outnumbered. So hopefully you know, our efforts will we are going to get it done. It's just hopefully sooner rather than later. Pandemic has set us back, of course. But you know what makes me so mad? I'm gonna go off my. Makes me so mad when I watch like all of these just shitty movies, like all the time, up and down, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, HBO Max, I'm like, how does this get made? But my movie doesn't get made. Like it makes me so mad. And I know it's about connections and just finding the money, finding the right people, or, you know, to do it. And I just like, I'm like, there's such crap out there, you know, and they want content. People are looking for content. Like
you just voiced right there why I didn't go see After We Collide last year. I would much rather see your film.
And that's why we appreciate. That's why we come and do your show, because we appreciate people that advocate for, you know, independent filmmaking, and the people that are, you know, the talent that's trying to get their stories made, because, you know, it's just like the crap that's out there. It's just insulting, you know? Like I wish so much that, like, you know, we could have studios that would, you know, make projects that are based on heart and on talent, and not just on, you know, connect. I don't know. Yeah, that's my rant. But it's been a little frustrating.
Yeah, why not get Adam to direct it?
Well, for a really long time, it's a great question. For a super long time, from the very beginning, we wanted a female director. You know, we were going for that like inclusion writer,
Okay.
you know, where 80% of the film, we wanted it to be, women and or minorities and people, voices that have been, throughout time and, unable to have the opportunities that white cis males have been able to have, right?
Okay.
So and I have to tell you, because we did attach a very young female director, who is no longer attached, and I'm not going to comment on why, but I feel like we tried, and it is almost impossible to get a female director attached because most directors are doing television because
Mhm.
they'll make more money doing a season of television than like one independent film that's going to take up half their year. And yeah, it's been a very discouraging process because female directors are so under number. I mean, just there's hardly any of them out there, but I don't know, I think at this point what we want, though, if we can't have a female, is we do want to have another, person of color, LGBTQ, somebody that hasn't had the opportunity.
So you're not gonna get Uwe Boll.
No more, no white man. And again, it's like, I know that it's like there's people out there that'd be really angry because they're going to hear that and they're going to say, why not just get the best person for the job? And it's not about that because, well, first of all, Adam would do a great job. We know that. We know Adam would do a wonderful job. It's because there's other people out there that would do just as great of a job that don't have the opportunities. And that's what we really want it. But I'm gonna tell you right now, if somebody came along that could get us money, that will, could direct this thing, I don't care if they're an alien. It doesn't matter, So that's really what it's about right now is just getting the money to make the movie. But and never at any point did Adam say, I have to direct this. I think, he respected and understood that, like, what we were trying to do. And he, of course, is a writer on it. But Adam, they have other projects. I don't know. This may not speak to Adam in that way. As a director, you have to, you have to connect to the, material in the way that you would do it complete justice. And it might end up being Adam. Who knows? At this point, I just want to get the movie made. You have $1 million, you can direct this film.
Yeah, I don't have $1 million, but I do want to see it though.
It's going to be great. It's a great script, and everyone has loved the title, the premise, the script when they've read it. Like, I can't even tell you, like, and in Hollywood, like, you hear from people like why they turn things down. They'll say that it has issues. Act 3 is troublesome. Not one. Like, everybody has been like, this is such a great script. This is such a great idea. This is such a great title. I love everything about it. And we cannot connect the money. It's crazy. And I feel like instead of coming on here and like, just doing that Hollywood talk where, you make everything, you sugarcoat everything. That's not who I am. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm frustrated as an independent filmmaker, and I want to express that because that's the reality. That's the truth of the situation. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's fucking frustrating because there's people out there, there's an audience out there that I know wants to see this film. There's an audience out there that needs to see this film. And there, people that are looking for good quality stuff from people that wrote with horror fans in mind. So they're not doing the same old jumps that you see in everything, not doing the same old plot lines that you've seen. The same story, over and over again. The hot chick runs in the opposite direction and grabs the banana instead of, drops the fucking weapon right after they've shot. How many times do we see that? Like, seriously, my husband and I sit here and watch horror films, and they, finally the hero shoots the bad guy and then drops the weapon right next to the bad guy. Like, who would do? I was like, keep shooting, keep hitting. Like, drop the weapon right now. I don't get that. We literally have watched that in like dozens of horror films. So yeah, but it is frustrating because you having a great script doesn't guarantee you're going to get money, and that's just the realities of Hollywood. So that's like when people are watching, like, how did this get made? This is so bad, Well, that's what it is, It's like I've had friends that have done movies where the lead actress is doing this. Her boyfriend has bought her the movie, like her rich boyfriend, or just a development exec, it was friends with these producers, and that's how, so there's a lot of great content out there, obviously, but a lot of horrible stuff gets made and a lot of good stuff just sits on the shelf, and it's really, I keep using the word frustrating, but it's disheartening, because too, when you start like really talking to people and talking to independent filmmakers, like you'll hear like, oh yeah, we've been trying to get this made for 10 years. You're like, geez Louise, like, I don't know, it's a lot of money, and people just don't want to take the risk, unless they have a personal reason to, and everybody wants guarantees, and you can't guarantee anything on a movie,
No.
So you can't get a director unless you have a verifiable star, but you can't get a star unless you have a director. It's like you're chasing your tail constantly.
Yep.
That's my soapbox. Python.
Yeah. Well, we definitely want to see this movie and look forward to it getting made. And I hope you get the right people behind it.
Okay, let me tell you, if anyone's listening, I do want to say this. If you connect us to money, you will get kicked back. So they're probably going to kill me for Adam and Deborah, very classy people. Probably be like, oh God, Hollis, shut up. No, but it's true. Because you never know. Could be somebody listening that's like, Grandpa's always wanted to make a movie. And now after this pandemic, he's like, YOLO.
You got yourself vaccinated yet?
Of course, months ago.
Both?
Absolutely.
Okay, I've got one already. How did the second one feel?
Like shit.
Oh well, gee, not what I want to hear.
Worth it though. Worth it to have your freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I want to be able to travel this fall a little bit, so.
Yeah, and absolutely. When we make this movie, we will invite. If we shoot in Canada, you'll come to the set. How's that?
If I can get time off from work, yeah, sure.
Open invitation. You can come and hang out on set with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Boll directing.
Uva's listening right now, and he wants to put the money up. Come on, Uva. Because what I would do is I would just be actually directing it while he read a newspaper. That's what he did.
That works.
He doesn't have to direct. He just gets Michael Paré and Clint, and Brendan, and they all, they just do what they
Oh,
do.
you guys should bring Clint Howard into Fat Camp Massacre.
Yeah, I love Clint. Yeah.
Clint does all kinds of crazy stuff.
He does. He really does. He's a nice guy though. He's a good guy. He didn't like me very much though, which is funny. I don't know why. He didn't connect with me on Blubberella.
No.
He never was like, I don't like you, but like he avoided me a lot. And I'm such a fun person to know. I don't know.
I think so.
I know. Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know why. And he probably, if he heard that, he would say, that's not true, but it's how it felt, you know. But I also know that that whole process was really hard for them because they didn't know what the hell was going on. You know, like Uva didn't tell these guys they're doing like a third film, you know, they're doing 3 movies in 4 weeks.
Yeah,
I mean, when
that's
I found,
multitasking.
oh my God, when I found out, like here we are in Croatia in the dead of winter, you know, making this steamy pile piece of shit that we don't have enough time to even do my movie. And I'm like, where's the crew right now? Where's it? They're filming Auschwitz. What? See these lines right here? That's Uwe Boll. I'm like, what? He's doing a third movie? That's an insane person. But I think I told you last time we were on, you know that he only got funding for Blood Rain 3 because of my movie. Speaking of funding, he only got it made because he was going to do Blubberella. So you're welcome, everybody. That's why you have the steamy pile of poo, Blood Rain 3, is because of the steamy pile of poo known as Blubberella, which was untitled all the way up until after he got it in the can, and then he called it Blubberella.
Well, you were awesome in it.
You're too kind. You know what? If I had to do it all over again, I'd do it again in a heartbeat. 100%.
Well, I loved it when you took the sandwich away from the Nazi.
You know, Willem and I wrote that movie like on the spot. Like we didn't know what was at least I got if I didn't if I mean the smartest thing I did was get Willem to come. I don't know what made me think of that. Ooh, that was loud.
I bet that's Adam and Deborah telling you to
Wrap it up.
wrap it up so you can go get Fat Camp Massacre on the go.
That's right. Let's get it made. But yeah, it's gonna happen. So hopefully. But yeah, we spent a lot of time on that. But thank you for
Yeah, I enjoyed having you back, and I knew there was going to be something to talk about. And Adam and Deborah spoke highly of you, and I plan to have them back on here. So I told them today that I was going to have you back on. So yeah, I'm glad you're feeling better. I know we were supposed to do this yesterday, but
and you would have not had this interview because I had like my brain felt like it was splitting in half. I felt terrible.
yeah.
You were very kind though, and very flexible and very understanding. So I appreciate that, and I'm glad you are back doing what you like to do. So
Yeah.
that's amazing. And don't fear the second shot. It's going to give you your freedom to do the travel. And that's
Mm-hmm.
all that matters. Now with this Delta variant coming out too, like they're saying unvaccinated people should be very afraid. So I didn't want to live in fear any longer. But anywho, that's all the political bullshit for today. I truly cannot wait till the next time we talk because that will be talking about Fat Camp Massacre.
Absolutely, absolutely. We shall do so. Before I let you go, would you mind doing a plug for my show?
Yes. No, I
Just
wouldn't. Tell me what to do.
just state your name and say you're listening to Greg Gilbert on Python's Paradise.
I'm Lindsay Hollister, and you're listening to Greg Gilbert on Python's Paradise.
And look for Fat Camp Massacre. And of course, watch Postal, where she gives an awesome job interview to one Zach Ward.
Don't watch Blubberella. If you can find it, skip right past it. Uva never paid me any residuals for it, so I don't really need to plug it. So
You get residuals for Postal?
I think like a little, yeah, in the beginning. I was supposed to get 2.5% off the back end of Blubberella, but he screwed me out of that. So
Oh, sorry to hear that.
for another time.
There you go. Well, thank you so much for coming on here and blessing me with your presence. And yeah, you're connected with some good people with Adam and Deborah. So
Great people. Great people. Watch everything that they've made because they're seriously brilliant.
Absolutely.
Anna is available on video on demand and a bunch of stuff. So
Hmm.
stay safe out there. Great to see you.
God bless you. Take care.
Bye.
Bye bye.